How you all doing this morning?
Good.
Good morning.
Good. All right, just give them 2 more minutes and then we'll get started. Have you all got a notepad and pen?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And this is an interactive workshop as well, so you're welcome to ask questions and things as we go through. Okay, so welcome everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm Anne, for those of you that don't know me. It's nice to see some familiar faces as well. If you don't know what I do, I work with women all around the world who have different health issues, relationship problems or blocks in their business. And help them to clear those blocks so that they can then go on to living a healthy and happy life as well. So each month I'm doing a different masterclass. These are free for you to join, and this one is about boundaries. And as I said, welcome to take notes as we go through and ask any questions as well. All right, so having clear boundaries for yourself is one of the most important things that you need to be able to stay healthy. So I've noticed that working with my clients, a lot of people get sick when they don't have good boundaries. And once they understand how important boundaries are, they sleep better, they have more time and energy, and they get much better results in their business and their work life. So who would like to share, why do you think that you need to have good boundaries? What's some other reasons for you?
Just letting people walk over you.
Yeah. With boundaries, what we're doing is we're telling other people how to treat us. So if we don't tell people how to treat us, then they don't know. And so we just expect them to, respect us in a certain way. And then there's nothing there because we haven't told them how we expect to be treated. All right. So boundaries are really important for us, especially if you've got your own business. How many of you here have your own business? Yeah, okay, great. All right, so when you have strong boundaries, it's much easier for your time. You'll have more time, you'll have more energy, and things just start to flow easier for you. If you'll come up against obstacles at time where it doesn't matter how hard you're working, you're just not seeing the results that you want. Sometimes it can be because you've not got the boundaries in place. So having them is really important. When you do have your own business, when you're available 24/7, your clients don't always respect you. I've really noticed this for people in especially real estate, people who are basically on call. People think that they're on call. When we first arrived here and we were looking at properties and things, the estate agent, real estate, was phoning us at 8 o'clock at night, and we didn't understand that. Like in England at 5 o'clock, it all shuts. And so when they were still working after hours and things, we really couldn't believe it. So it's a good service to offer, but you don't want people to take advantage of you as well. When I first started doing the work that I'm doing, I had clients texting me at 10 o'clock at night. I'd be getting in bed and a text would come through, a massive long text telling me all the problems that they'd had during that day. And it was because I hadn't said to them, like, I finish at a certain time, or I don't work weekends and things like that. So having clear boundaries really helps people respect you and value you, and you'll be able to get much better results, and you won't end up feeling resentful as well, doing the work that you love to do. When you are in business and you don't have the boundaries in place, and you've got people crossing the line all the time, it can really make you forget why you actually started the business in the first place, because it's not enjoyable anymore. So we always want to have our business being enjoyable and getting results for people, and we can do that when we're at our best as well, and that's just by having great boundaries in place. So who has family or friends think that they can disturb them anytime they like when they're working from home? Yeah, especially children as well. or think that they can your friends think that they can just pop round for a chat or a coffee. Do you get that? Yeah, or they'll phone up in the middle of the day and want to have a long conversation with you, and you was in the middle of doing something that's really important. So again, you just need to let people know that you're working during the day, or even have your phone on silent as well. And it's not just if you're in your own business, it's if you work from home now. So many people work from home, they're employed by people, and we still have a certain amount of things to get done throughout the day. And so it's really important that we have those boundaries in place so that we can get everything that we need to get done, and we're not getting in bed at the night time feeling like we've not achieved what we've wanted to achieve, because that's a horrible feeling. All right. Who has children interrupt them during the day? Yeah. Again, when I first started working from home, my children were young at the time and thought it was like great because they could just keep coming in and disturbing me, or asking me to take them to their friends when it was school holidays. And I'm like, no, I'm working. Like you have to tell them that you're working, because they don't understand. They just think mum's at home and mum's still going to do all of the washing, the ironing, cleaning, everything that needs to be done, and still be my taxi driver as well. So we have to have those boundaries in place, not just with our clients, with our employees. It's also with our children and friends as well. Does that make sense? The other place, when you're employed by someone as well, the other thing where you need to have the boundaries in, I've noticed with my clients that they're being asked to work longer as well during the day. So they feel guilty if they're finishing at, say, 5 o'clock or 5:30, because the boss is expecting them to be there later as well. So again, if that keeps happening, or you keep being given more and more work and you're feeling overwhelmed by it, it's time to just have a conversation with them and just say, like, I'm happy to do as much work as I can during this time period, but I really do need to start leaving on time. Because some people, it's expected they feel like they need to be the last one who leaves, especially in corporate now. Like they'll just be sitting there and hoping that everyone else is going to leave, so that they are then allowed to leave, because they feel guilty if they leave before everyone else. All right, so learning to say no is hard, especially for women, because the guilt sets in pretty quick. Have you experienced that? Yeah. Women are like, we nurture. It's an instinct that we have inside us. We like to nurture. We want to make sure everyone else is happy, and we can end up putting ourselves last. So when we have boundaries in place, as I said, we're telling other people how to treat us, and it also gives us choices as well, that allows us to be calm during the day, to achieve what we need to achieve, and get the results that we want. But saying no is also like a skill that we need to learn. It grows with confidence, and it's about making good decisions as well that you know are going to help you to be happy and healthy. All right, because that's what it's all about. Do you agree? Yeah, great. All right, so it's really time to take control, to be successful, so that we can all be healthy and happy. And when I talk to women about having to say no, when they've not been used to doing it at all, they can think that they're being selfish. All right, that the guilt can become so overwhelming for them that they start telling themselves that they're selfish to say no to people, that they should still be doing it, and it's okay for them to have the distractions all throughout the day as long as everyone else is happy. And I just want to mention, saying no to people is not just like, when you start practicing this, it's not about becoming a no Nazi and just saying no to everyone who asks you to do anything. It's really about you choosing who you want to help at that time, and whether you've really got the time to be able to help them as well. All right, so it's like you're taking your power back to say, am I okay to help them at this time, or do I need to get these things done first? And then it comes down to a choice. Does that make sense? Yeah, so it's really about balance. All right, we need to have balance in our life, and we're in control, and we're choosing who we say yes to and who we say no to, and that's when the work-life balance really gets back into place as well. So once you have the boundaries in place, you're going to get more done throughout the day. So your to-do list is not going to be growing even more, so that by the time you get in bed of a night, you're really stressed out. And then as soon as you wake up in the morning, you've got all of yesterday's jobs to do as well as today's, because you end up helping someone else out and not working on your own stuff. Who does that, by the way? Who wants to share? You'll have to unmute yourselves.
I do that. I'm a people pleaser. I find it really hard to say no to people. And so I will move things and just try to shuffle to help someone or do something for someone that wasn't on my radar the day before. And then I find I just get really overwhelmed and feel quite stressed because I find it very hard to say no to people.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at it, but I still do it every now and again.
Yeah, and what happens for you? Is it the guilt that comes up?
Yeah, there's guilt, and there's I don't know. I think I'm an empath, and so I just really feel the person, and so I feel their feelings, and I just find it really hard to put that line in the sand and say, well, actually, if I do this for you, it's going to cause me stress. And I am better at recognizing that now, but I still do find it very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's usually underlying reasons why it can be so traumatic for some people to say no. So I'm going to share some things later on, Renee, that's going to help you be able to say no with more confidence as well. So it will help you, because once you can say no to people, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to have more energy yourself, and you're going to be able to get more done. No one's going to be draining your energy. You'll have more fun, and you're going to feel like it's a win-win as well. All right, so you're in the right place. All right, so what I'd like you all to do is to write down 3 of your biggest distractions during the day. So it can be from children, colleagues, employers, whatever it is. All right, just one more minute. All right, let's get a couple of you sharing. Who'd like to share your biggest distraction during the day?
I'm happy to share.
Yep.
My mum, she lives in the granny flat, and she pops down all the time just to say hi, which turns into a 15-minute, 20-minute chat, or just to do the washing, or just to check in, so it's quite loving, and I always feel guilty when I get frustrated that I didn't really appreciate her popping in, but they add up over time. Emails, just constantly trying to be on top of the emails. So you're trying to get a job done, and you're in a creative flow, and for some reason you just feel like you need to check the emails, and it just all of a sudden it's a 15-minute distraction, which again adds up, and it does break the creative flow. and wanting to be outside. I set my office up in a way where I can look outside the window, and I think, why am I sitting in front of a computer all day? I'll take my little moment to go outside and stretch and whatever, but I find that a bit distracting. So potentially I might need to shut the curtains if I'm in real focus time, but yeah, wanting to be away from the computer.
Yeah, great. It's really hard with family, especially when they're living so close as well, because they just don't understand. So if you can have a chat with her and just say, even between 10 and 2, Mum, can you just not come in because I'm trying to work and get things done? And 9 times out of 10 people are fine with it. It's us who builds up the story thinking they're going to not like us anymore, or they're going to reject us, or things like that. And actually they're not. They just want to know what the rules are.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So yeah, great. Emails can be a really big distraction. So put like mine have got no sound on at all. So unless I go and actually look, I don't see any notifications coming up. I don't have sounds on anything other than a text message. So it's then up to me to go and look at those things when I'm ready. You know, they're not flashing up on my screen or anything like that. It's just off until I go in. And you'll find that when you do that, you'll get things done so much quicker. You know, because you're not jumping from one thing and then going back all the time. You're actually starting something, finishing it, and then going on to the next thing. All right, so yeah, just even have boundaries around when you check your emails and things like that, because it will really help. All right, great, thanks for sharing, Mel. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm not clear on what I need to get done. I think sometimes email, certainly like Melissa for me, and I think I use it as like a small win sometimes, like, oh, I can do that and I've achieved something, but then I'm distracted from like the bigger thing that I should probably be doing, and I'm not always completely clear on what the bigger thing is, because I've got a whole lot of shoulds and then I got a whole lot of wants, and I'm still not amazing at setting the boundary around where those should fall, I think.
So would you be able to work out what a top 3 were?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, so when we have really big to-do lists, it can become overwhelming, and we think that we have to get everything done on that list in one day. My to-do list is more like a memory thing to remind me what I need to be doing, but it doesn't mean to say I have to get all of that done in one day. So I'll pick out the 3 most important things that I must do today. I'll complete them, and then I'll go on to the next things and get those done as well.
Yeah, that's cool. Top 3 must-dos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And what I do is I work with my clients in the morning, and then I do my business admin after that, and that will be the first thing that I do. Those top 3 will be the first things that I work on, so that if for any reason I can't work after an hour or whatever, then I know that those ones have been done. All right, so it's a really good way of looking at it, and the thing, what happens is your energy becomes much lighter because you've actually achieved something. So we've got chakras in our body, our energy centers, and when we are feeling overwhelmed or not being creative in the way that we need to, our solar plexus, the one behind our belly button, stops spinning the way that it's meant to, and we can become very lethargic and tired. So when we achieve the things that we need to do, that starts spinning again, and then we have more energy. So it's always working the way that it's meant to. All right, so if you ever need more energy, just give your belly button a little rub in the clockwise direction, and you'll start to feel the energy coming back into your body again. It's really cool. All right, anyone else? Last person to share?
I'm happy to. First of all, probably because I do work in HR and an executive role and quality management, I have a lot of roles all intertwined into one, but I'm finding that the revolving door at work is just out of control. I've always had an open door policy. I'm rethinking my open door policy. the work's just not getting done. I have actually changed a little bit. I'm trying to work from home Mondays and Fridays now. So that way I'm still available to people Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I've taken that away. But then it's the next one is then it's the phone calls. So I actually have a HR team behind me, but they feel as though I've got the rapport with them. I know what's going on in their personal life, so I will solve the problems for them. They won't go to the team. I am doing a little bit of pushback going, have you spoken to your manager? Have you spoken to one of the guys in the team, whatever? But it's like, yeah, but they don't know me like you do. So, and I can't say no.
So Marie, do you think that you've crossed the boundary from being the boss to being their friend?
I don't think it's a friendship thing. I think it's just that I can listen to people really easily. So, and I probably can solve their problems or ask them and think about different ways that they're feeling and put it in a different way and things like that. So they feel as though, while I've got that understanding with them, they don't want to go and have to build that with somebody else. So that's really hard to break that cycle. So it's like, yeah, I just keep putting a sign up on the door, meeting in progress at the moment, but that doesn't stop anything either. Because they know I'll stop. They know I will mute a meeting or do something just to make sure not, even if I just go, look, I'm in a meeting, you're okay, I'll come and see you in 15 minutes. I've still had the distraction.
Yes.
So, but I don't want to lose that rapport with my staff either, because they're amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely. But they're also not your children.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh yeah, they do call me Mother Hen.
You're not there to hold their hand and do everything for them. They're all adults, they're all grown up. They have to take responsibility for their own work environment and things like that. So if you can, have a team meeting and tell them this is what needs to change. I can't carry on the way that it's going.
Yes.
And do that. So as we go through, I'm going to give you some more hints and tips to help you do that, so that you don't go in there just feeling so overwhelmed that you'd rather go home and be sick.
Yeah. But if I go home, then I just get phone calls or the emails. So it's like I've got the knocking on the door, but then I've got the phone calls, or then I've got the emails, and it's like, okay, I need to somehow streamline this into a better process.
Yeah, definitely, because at the moment there's no respect there at all for your time. So
no, and I don't get the work done. So what I do is I start at around 5 o'clock in the morning, and I get 3.5 hours in of work before business starts, and then I'll get home around 5, but I'll work till 9 o'clock at night trying to get the work done that I haven't got done during the day.
Wow. Okay. That's
because I'm a high achiever. I want to get the work done.
Yeah, but what you'll find is that will only be able to carry on for a certain amount of time, and then you're going to start getting headaches, just migraines. The body's going to start showing you signs that this can't continue, and I highly recommend that you make some changes now before that all starts happening. That will be debilitating, and you don't want to have to use your health as an excuse not to help people.
No.
All right. So yeah, we'll go through and then you can ask me some more questions. All right. One of the other massive distractions for people is Facebook as well. They think that they're just going to jump on it just to check, and then an hour's passed and they've not got anything done. They've just been scrolling and looking at different things and seeing what other people would be doing. So again, like I was saying to Mel, make sure there's no notifications flashing up with Facebook as well, because that will the biggest time waster you can find during the day. All right, so what I'd like you to do now is to write down on average, how much time do you think you spend on each distraction per day? So like I've just said with Facebook, an hour could easily pass. Yeah, so just write down how long you spend on each distraction. And then add up the total for all 3 distractions. All right, is that more or less than you thought?
More.
Yeah. Has it shocked you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it really can. And then when you see it, write down how much time you're wasting, you can then see why you're not achieving what you want to achieve during the day. Yeah, does that make sense? And just keep an eye on this as well, because you'll notice over the week that if you start making a note of how long you're being distracted for, it's usually a lot more time than you even think that it is. There's a really good app called Toggle, Toggl. And what you can do is you can start recording your time, how long you're spending on each thing. And what it does is it just keeps recording it. And then at the end of the week, you can see what your distractions were, how long jobs were taking you and things like that. So it's another way, if you don't remember to write it down, that app will do it for you. All right. So how many breaks do you take during the day?
I'll jump in.
Oh,
Yeah.
None.
Because you're trying to catch up with everything.
It's just nuts.
Yeah.
I have as many as I can.
Yeah.
So my distraction would probably having a nap.
Having a nap during the day.
Just shut my eyes for 20 minutes, half an hour.
Then it's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my distractions.
Yeah, if you are going to nap during the day, because if you're not a great sleeper, then I highly recommend you set an alarm for 20 minutes, and it is then just a nap, and it doesn't go into the whole afternoon, because any more than 20 minutes will can affect the nighttime sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
And it's
make
obviously, obviously on my lunch break, I have that hour nap.
sure. Yeah.
He's like a toddler.
All right, so do you need to include more or less breaks during the day? So Alex, you're definitely more.
So I work from home and I break my workload up with housework. So I'll set myself a task to do for work. So it might be programming a client, and then I'll set what housework I'm doing as soon as I finish that. So it could be put the washing on, then come back, do my next work task. When I finish that, go and put the washing on the line. So I try and break my day up like that, because I'm not a sit at a desk for a long period of time person either. So I'm finding that actually works really well for me, and I'm managing working from home and my home life with my children as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, so it's whatever works for you. You know, if you can get the task done and then go and do another task and then come back, that's really good. So yeah, it's great. And then you'll find that the home things are still getting done as well as the work things as well.
Yeah, I don't feel as overwhelmed at the end of the day if I've spent the whole day just doing housework, or if I've spent the whole day just doing work. I'm finding I've got a good balance with that now. It has taken me probably 6 months to figure it out. I'm a slow learner, but I've definitely got there with that one now, which is nice.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great. All right, well done. So how many of you have your weekends for relaxing, especially those of you who work from home?
I work a very long day on Saturday, and I try and take Sundays off, and I'm probably succeeding 3 out of 4.
Okay, so is there, if you work Saturdays, is there another day that you could have off during the week, or half a day?
No, I am trying to start later. I'm trying to start around 9 a.m. instead of 7.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work, but
yeah.
But I am finishing around 5, between 5 and 6 most days.
Yeah, well, if you're starting at 7, there's still an 11-hour day, 6 days a week, so that's a big week. So if you can even set the intention that you're going to be whatever you need your work hours to be, and then really start working towards that, you'll notice that you'll start to achieve it. So really,
I don't believe you.
It is, because sometimes the things that we think that we need to get done before we finish for the day can actually wait until the next day. You know, there'll only be some occasions where they actually can't. So again, it's just about having those boundaries in place that says, no, I'm finishing today at 5 o'clock because I'm going to be going and doing this instead. So when you set the intention, generally things start to play out, and have the boundaries in place, you'll start to achieve it much easier.
And I think that's helped me too with knowing when I used to focus on, I'm saying no to this, I'm saying no to this, but instead now I'm trying to think, because I've said no to this, I'm saying yes to these 3 things, which are a bit more what I want to be doing. It's still not perfect, but yeah, I've done lots of work with you over the last year, so I'm starting to focus on what I'm saying yes to and being happy about that rather than guilty about what I'm saying no to.
Yeah.
Trying.
Yeah, great. And with your weekends, they're really about you having time off to relax and do the things that you enjoy, build your energy back up so that you're ready again for the Monday. When we work for ourselves, and especially when we work from home, it's really important that the office door is shut on a Friday when you're finished, and you don't go back in there until Monday. All right, it's like you don't have the keys to get back in the office until it opens again, because otherwise you'll end up just popping in there to check your emails or to do something, and you'll notice that 2 hours have gone. All right, and then the weekend just starts to flit away because you're then thinking about what you need to do or what you want to go and finish, and not actually enjoy the weekend with your family or your friends. All right, does that make sense? Yeah, so always make sure that anything, when you finish at 5 o'clock, you don't go back in again until the Monday. All right, your phone's off to your clients, your computer's off, you're not checking emails or anything until the Monday. All right, and you'll feel so much better. You'll have more energy, you'll be more excited to go back in and work again on the Monday, and you'll achieve a lot more as well, because you won't be overwhelmed and tired from also working over the weekend as well. So as I was just saying to Alex, we have to acknowledge that we want to make the changes before we can actually start to make them. So it all comes down to choice. You can choose not to have boundaries and let people keep interrupting you all throughout the day and of weekends and late at night, or you can choose to say, no, this is my time. I'm looking after myself, I'm rejuvenating, and so that I'm switched back on and I'm full and ready to go the next day. All right. So who's not good at speaking up or saying no? Yeah. I used to be terrible. So, I used to be really bad at being able to say no or speaking up. So it's something that I've had to practice a lot. But when you're a yes person, people really don't respect you. And what tends to happen is you end up feeling resentment or anger towards them, and it just keeps building in the body. And when we've got the chemicals from strong emotions building in our body, it causes health issues like arthritis, as I said, migraines, headaches, all sorts of problems start to come up. So we really don't want the body to start to shut down and give us signs that things need to change. All right, boundaries is one of the most important things that you can implement to keep healthy. Any questions so far?
Can I just add, I found, and I don't know how many of you ladies have children at home with you still, but when someone asks or a client asks for time on your weekend, I have just started to be really upfront and honest, and I just say, oh no, sorry, weekends are for my kids. And 99% of the people are, oh yeah, no worries, that's understandable. So I felt like before when I was, like if I don't say yes to them now, they won't be a returning customer. It was actually an issue that I really didn't need to be worried about, because I just made them aware that, hey, family comes first for me, which they respected that value of. And then we just found a time during the week that suited us both better.
Yeah, Yeah, fantastic. It is. People really understand about having children and family and having family time and weekends. So well done. That's excellent. Speaking up and just letting them know. So some of the things that can come up when you have that fear of saying no is you can feel really guilty. There can actually be like a fear that comes up in your body. It can react and become like you want to hide or run away from the situation. The self-doubts can start to come up as well, and it can be so strong for some people to even think about saying no that they just say yes automatically without even thinking about it, because they would rather take on everyone else's responsibilities and do what they need to do because it's easier than having to say no. All right. What comes up for you when you think about saying no?
Sometimes for me, I actually have a physical anxiety response about saying no. So my heart starts pumping fast. I get hot. I get really tight muscles, and I feel so overwhelmed. It's just easier to say yes, so I don't have to feel that way. Yeah, because your body's gone in sort of fight or flight mode because it's so scared of having to have that confrontation that it's giving you like an internal reaction for it.
It was quite funny. My big boss rang me last night. She said, I'm having a staff meeting in our one of our other offices in another town. She said, can you actually attend? And of course I said, oh yeah, of course I will. And then I thought about it and went, I'm actually so tired, I actually can't. And I finished up saying to her, I was actually thinking about doing this webinar this morning. I went, oh, boundaries, Marie, boundaries. No, actually, I'm really sorry, Jules. The next one I'm having, can you make sure you've got it in my calendar so I've got notifications so I can actually plan to talk and what I want to talk about with the staff, so it feels like it's actually more professional, everything like that. So I said, is it okay if I don't come to the one tonight? And she went, oh yeah, no, that's okay. No, all good. I went, okay, that went okay.
It is. And if you're always been a yes person, when you first start saying no to people, they're a bit shocked. They're like, oh, well,
yeah, it was very weird. It was a weird conversation. It felt uncomfortable, but then it was like, okay. And then she rang me this morning. She goes, are you okay? And I went, yeah, no, I'm good. She goes, I was just a bit worried. She said, you've never actually said that you can't attend anything. And I went, and I've got a function tonight. So it's like, I went, I can't do 2 nights in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, great. But yeah, the other thing, when you've got that physical reaction happening in your body, usually it's because a trauma has happened in the past, and even if you don't remember what that trauma is, it's replaying out. And so the body remembers everything that's happening, and it unconsciously will give you that reaction to try and keep you safe. So if that is happening for you, have a think back, see what could have caused that reaction in the first place, and use the tips that I'm going to give you as well to move through the saying no. But yes, when we first start saying no to people, it can really shock them. All right. A couple of the other things that come up is that we can really think that there's going to be confrontation, that we're going to be rejected if we stand up for ourselves and say no, especially if it's to a boss or someone with a strong energy, or you think always gets their own way. So you can think that there's going to be an argument, or they're never going to talk to you again, or there's going to be some punishment in some way. And 9 times out of 10 there isn't. It's just what we're telling ourselves as we're going through with the story of why we can't say no to people. But many of the things that we're doing is because we want to be seen as the good wife, the good mum, the good employee, the good boss, the good, we're doing the best for our clients. And so we do it because we want to be rewarded for doing it. But what tends to happen is when you're a yes person all the time, people get so used to it, there is no reward back. because they just expect it from you. Have you noticed that? Yeah. All right. So if you worry about someone else's reaction to a boundary, or when you're thinking about saying no, one of the best things that you can do is practice doing it, having the conversation in front of the mirror before you actually have it with the real person. Okay. So sometimes even when we speak the words out loud, if we've not heard ourselves saying it before, it becomes very strange to us because we've not heard ourselves say no. So if you can practice doing it, even in front of the mirror by yourself, you're going to feel a bit stupid to start off with, but it's really going to help you to be able to say it much easier to the actual person when the opportunity comes along. So a couple of tips how to say no. So if people are phoning you and asking you to do something, you can say to them, I just want to check my diary, I'll get back to you. All right. And that's the end of the conversation. You're not giving any reasons what it might be or what it's not going to be or anything like that. You're just saying that statement, finishing the conversation, and then not getting back to them for at least 4 hours. All right. What you want to do, what people tend to do is they ask the person who's going to say yes the quickest. They will always ask them first because they don't want to actually do the job themselves. And so they are asking the person who's going to do it for them. There's going to be no confrontation or anything because they're asking a yes person and they know that it's going to be done. All right. So then they toddle off and they go off and do whatever they want to do. And then you're left with clearing up the mess, basically. This happens a lot of times with grandparents nowadays. If I'm talking to people who are like nan and granddads and the children are working and things, they just expect their mum and dad to look after their children for them. It's even getting to a stage where they're not even asking anymore. It's just expected that they're going to be the babysitter. All right. And what tends to happen is that the grandparents just get more and more stressed out because they don't want to be looking after the children every single day, and they're not being able to do the things that they want to do. So they can become unwell, and we don't want that with anyone. So if you are the person who is asking someone else to do things for you all the time, have a think, can I do this for myself instead? All right. How do you feel about saying that to someone if they phone you and you say to them, I need to check my diary and get back to you? Yeah, Mel, that suits you, does it?
Yeah, it sounds like a really fair way to answer the question too, because, you're not committing yourself, you're not committing them, it's giving you time to think about it. So it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because what you're doing during that time is you're saying, do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
There's no pressure on you. You've then got a choice whether you want to do it. If you've got something on, you've got a genuine reason why you can't, and you're not going to move that to do something else. And so it just takes the pressure off you. And what tends to happen when you say no a couple of times to someone as well, they stop asking you because they know that you're not going to be able to do it for them. So they go and find someone else who's going to say yes straight away. Otherwise it becomes too much hard work for them, and they don't want the hard work because they're looking for people to do the jobs for them. So it's really about just practicing a couple of times, and then it'll just become so much easier for you as well. The other thing, saying no to children, okay, it can be more difficult sometimes because we are at home, we are the mum, we want to give to them, but children really need to have boundaries. Boundaries for children help to keep them safe. It teaches them that they can't have everything they want as soon as they want it, and you'll tend to find that after you've gone through that little bit of hard stage of teaching them the rules, it becomes so much more balanced and easier at home because they're just happier and you're happier as well. So practicing with the children, they can sometimes be the biggest challenges because they know how to press your buttons and press that guilt button. they're experts at it, so it's really good to practice with them as well and have the boundaries in place. All right, so boundaries will help keep you healthy. They'll make you feel better in your relationships. You'll have more energy. You'll have more respect for yourself, and for other people will respect you as well. And it will just really make things flow more easily. You'll tend to find you'll sleep better as well, and you'll be able to feel more respected and confident in everything that you're doing, because you'll be achieving more, you'll be getting better results in the work that you're doing, and it's a win-win for everyone. So what I'd like you to do is just write down 3 boundaries that you're going to put into place this week. And remember, only you know what you do and you don't do, so just be really honest with yourself. Who would like to share?
I'll jump in there. I'm always pulled from pillar to post. So one of the things I want to do is set a time each day for planning, which I don't get time to think about the business or plan for the business. I'm just running around in it. And in that planning session, set the 3 most important things for the next day. And I'm going to block out that time to do it first thing before I do anything else. Wish me luck.
Yeah, you can do it, definitely. Who else would like to share? Yeah, Ali? You're on mute.
Excuse my voice, I'm actually sick, which is part of my problem, that I'm always sick because I'm always saying yes to everything and doing nothing for myself. So this week is my kids, my biggest thing. I can't say no to. I find that really hard. Even though they're older, I find that really hard. So saying no, especially when I'm sick. I'm not driving you to Woomba to basketball, which I did at the weekend when I was sick. It's just like, no, I'm not doing that. Call you to go through this stuff much more. It's a big one. But a big one also is to do my morning routine, like prioritize what I'm doing for the day, and also getting my, I know I work better when I've done a bit of exercise, like Pilates in the morning or something like that. So just get 20 minutes before their family get up and get that in. And I know that sets me for the day too. So, and Facebook as well as another one. There's loads, I've written loads down, but yeah, I've got a lot of changes to make. So
yeah, great. And it's good that you're admitting that to yourself as well, because that's the first hurdle usually, the acknowledgement that things need to change.
Absolutely.
But the body can become sick because it's then an easier excuse to say no than having to actually say no when you're healthy. Yeah. So we think that people are going to understand more and have compassion for us if we're not well and we say no. It's about being able to say no and still be healthy as well, and have those boundaries in place. And great what you mentioned there. You don't just have to have boundaries around things that you need to do, it's also about what you want to do. So if it's about doing yoga or Pilates in the morning, or meditating, or whatever, going for a walk, whatever it is, make sure that that's one of your priorities. Because it will make you feel so much better during the day.
Because I just tend to get up and do everything, and I'm just being used by my kids, really. So I'm just like, that's no more.
Yeah, great. So another couple of things that you can do is have some boundaries around your bedtime as well. It's really helpful. I don't know if any of you were on my How to Improve Your Sleep Masterclass. It's on my website if you want to go and watch it. But be in bed by 10 p.m. Okay, your body needs to have 7 to 8 hours sleep a night to be able to heal. So make sure that you're in bed by 10, everything's switched off, and it's another boundary that you have in place, that you're not going to be disturbed. You can also have boundaries when you go to the supermarket. So sometimes we just want to go in there to get bread and milk, and we end up coming out with a basket full of stuff. The supermarkets are just planned so that we go in and we see all of the things that catch our eye that we didn't actually intentionally go in to buy. So make sure that you've got those boundaries in place when you're going to the shops as well. All right, it will save you hundreds a year. A couple of other things, you can have boundaries around when you're watching TV as well. So even when you go to bed at 10 o'clock, don't watch the TV in bed or your phone or anything like that. By going to bed at 10, you'll be able to get up earlier as well. So you'll be able to get more done during the day because you would have had a good night's sleep, and then you'll be ready for the full day again as well. So just one last thing, know what needs to be done in the next hour. So sometimes if I've got a lot to do, what I'll do is I'll set a timer on my phone for 1 hour, and then I'll see how much I can get done in that hour. So I'm sort of playing a game with myself. And it is amazing how much you can get done in an hour before that alarm goes off, when you put your mind to it and there's no other distractions. So it's a bit of fun, you know, to get things done. All right, great. So any questions? No? All right, great. So just to recap, speaking up and saying no does take practice. All right, so just start implementing one boundary at a time, and you'll find that once you've achieved one, that solar plexus will start spinning, you'll feel more confident, and then you'll be able to go to the next one as well. So don't go in and try and make 10 changes all this week. Just do one at a time so that you really start to notice a difference. Stop having the distractions throughout the day, especially Marie. You'll be able to get a lot more done as well. You'll feel healthier, you'll have more energy, and you'll have more time as well. Don't let the guilt come in when you think about saying no to people. All right, remember what I've said. You're just going to say to them, I need to check my diary, I'll get back to you. All right, and let them go and find someone else so that you can then continue to achieve everything that you want to achieve as well. All right, and spend the morning. If any of you want to spend more time with me, I run workshops on the Sunshine Coast. This weekend I'm coming to Townsville, and yes, going to see you, Tracy. And then the next workshop's on the Sunshine Coast in September. So there's all the information's on my website. There's lots of free gifts on there, meditations, abundance masterclasses, you know, loads of information to help you. So go on there. It's annolaharris.com. And if any of you have any questions about anything that we've discussed today, reach out to me and we'll have a chat. All right. Thank you for joining. It's been lovely seeing you all. Have you had fun?
Yeah, it was great. Thanks, Anne.
Yeah, lovely. All right, great. Well done. Go and put one boundary in place and go and achieve the 3 things on your list.
Thank you.
All right, see you later. Bye.
Thanks so much.
Bye.